County, then down to Gordo and Reform in Pickens County. And the individual cells in that band are racing northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour, but the band itself just taking its time. And let's jump. And I think, Ashley, you got some pretty good lightning there coming to the top of the King building.
Yes, one of our, let's see, somebody had mentioned, well, Mike Wilhelm up in Vinemont, but mentioned there was a lot of lightning southwest of Jasper, and he was wondering if anyone was from there, so I thought, let's take a look at the sky cam, and we certainly do have a lot of lightning up there. That's not one of our larger rainfall totals, though. The big winner as far as sky cam is concerned is still you, and it slowed down a little bit, but up to 5.41 inches, but still more rain to come, so.
Yeah, and boy, that's a whole nother issue is, are we going to have snowflakes on Thursday?
Quite an interesting week.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, and the way it works for those of you that kind of know the inner workings here, I write the morning package, the morning forecast package. I deliver weather on radio stations, about 24 of them, not only in Alabama, but around the country. I've got them as far west as Phoenix, Arizona, and as far east as Jacksonville, Florida, Lynchburg, Virginia. But I write that forecast package, and I was back in the back trying to get that done because we're dealing with this thing Thursday in a cold core upper low. The air aloft is very cold, and sometimes air from above can go down to the surface, dynamic cooling, and that can set up a deal where the rain changes to snow. And the computer models don't understand it. People don't understand it. We have a hard time with it. We had an event like that in December 1997. It snowed 8 inches in Demopolis. And a deal where we thought it was just going to be raining that day. So we're dealing with the Thursday issue, but we really need to get this out of the way. For those of you that watch our Weather Extreme video on the blog, you know that I like to take them one at a time, like a football coach. Let's get this thing out of the way. Then we can focus on that deal Thursday. One way or the other, I don't think we have any big travel issues or accumulation issues. Our Skywatcher in Reform, lightning is picking back up in Reform. Should be able to look for ground truth in the couplet in a few minutes. And again, that is the reflectivity, and that's the lightning data. You can see lightning is very active. Let's put the storm relative velocity product back on here. Minutes, I bet you blink and that thing will be almost 2 inches of rain. Temperature 67. How about the dew point of 64 on December 9th at 11:30 at night? That's pretty juicy. Wind out of the southeast at 5, and again, a pretty impressive lightning display back there on the western horizon. Thing off to the east, the heaviest rain will likely be in downtown Jasper in about 15 minutes. Heaviest rain reaching Smith Lake. Really, the rain creeping onto the western edge of Smith Lake right now. And let's see, here's an update from the Weather Service on the Pickens County warning. They are going to let it go until 11:45, 7 minutes before midnight. And again, I think Dr. Tim basically said we'll just stay up all night. If you want to stay up all night, you're welcome to do that. Sleep is for what? Sissies. That's right. Who needs sleep? The only problem with sleep, your hair falls out and you get a lot of wrinkles. See, I'm only 25 years old. This is what you look like when you don't sleep. But in all seriousness, the good news is that we do not have any active tornado warnings right now. We do have active severe thunderstorm warnings. Tremendous lightning display here between Fayette and Tuscaloosa, Brownville, New Lexington, Moores Bridge, places like that. That lightning is almost nonstop based on this display. Also, some good lightning in downtown Jasper. Let's go back to that Jasper sky cam, Ashley B. And yeah, I bet you all of our rain totals are zero. But that's okay. Let's go right to the 3/10.
It just, that one hasn't reset yet.
Okay, yeah. Every one of these, it'll reset in a minute or two. The clocks might be off by a minute or two. I think that's looking west from the King building. 68 over 65. East wind at 18. Yeah, that's kind of looking west. Sure is. Let's veer a little bit to the right. And, yep, that is due west. Whenever we're looking for those big shelf clouds rolling into downtown Jasper, that's where we look. And by the way, this is our fall tornado season. A lot of people are new. If you're new here, I just want to mention that we're one of the few places in the world, if not the only place in the world, with 2 distinct tornado seasons. One in spring, March, April, May. The other now, November, December. And quite frankly, over the last 10 years, on an average basis, the bulk of the severe weather has been during the fall season. So this is not unusual at all. Happens pretty often. Everybody that lives in Tuscaloosa recalls what happened on December 16th, 2000, 8 years ago. An EF4 tornado killed 11 people. Horrible tragedy on a Saturday, 9 days before Christmas. So for us having to do this, it is not that odd. But what is odd, I guess, it's the fact that this is the first event of the season. It's been cold and stable. And all of a sudden, we had a little flip, and we had a sliver of instability and a dynamic storm. And so far, so good. Now, we are getting some reports of trees down in Coleman from strong straight-line winds. We've got reports of pea-sized hail in Jasper. And again, we're getting some scattered wind damage reports coming out of Walker County. But at this point, things look pretty good there in downtown. But, of course, that's all we can see is that downtown area right there. So, again, a tornado warning for Walker and Winston counties until 1:15. Let's go back to the radar. We've got 3 distinct warnings at this point. So we're going to try and bounce between all 3 of those rotational areas. There's the rotation right there coming out of up in Walker County that has produced in this past Jasper now. The worst of the weather is over for Jasper. This thing is now off to the east of Jasper. We've had some reports of trees and lines down with this particular thunderstorm, but as you can see, it's now off to the north and east of Jasper. Boldo up Highway 69 right in through here. Dora and Summerton right down in through here. Bevel State. This is the old Highway 78. For those of you in Dora, Summerton, Boldo, and points east, you want to be in a safe place. I know the warning is for Winston. I don't see this getting close to Winston County because these things are now more right-turning storms. They're moving more east than northeast. So, again, this is Winston County, and I know there's a formal warning, but watch the circulation center, and it's just moving more east in here. And, again, you can see it right in here near Dora and Summerton and Boldo. So for those of you in eastern Walker County and those places, be in a safe place, and we'll see how the Weather Service handles that if they extend the warning. Have a new warning here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Blount, Fayette, Jefferson, Tuscaloosa, and Walker counties until 1:30. Again, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Blount. Going through the Skywatcher reports, reports of very high winds and heavy rain in Cordova right now. And again, that's with this big batch coming east of Jasper. And again, there is a tornado warning in effect here. So we encourage everybody in Cordova, Dora, Summerton to be in a safe place until these things pass. That is a fairly common report. We've had some scattered reports of tree and power line damage in that area. Our Skywatcher at Smith Lake near Curry reports lightning struck very close to their home. And these have packed a lot of lightning, no doubt about that. You see that right here. This thing is coming over toward Blunt Springs. And really, I'm telling you, this thing is moving almost east. I mean, initially the storms were moving north, and they've taken this right-hand turn, and that rotation right there that came over Jasper is near Sipsey, and that's going to come over here toward Blunt Springs, and that'll be crossing Interstate 65 in Blount County. So for those of you that are listening by radio, again, we encourage no travel between Warrior and, say, Dodge City along Interstate 65. Blount Springs is located right here. The Top Hat Barbecue sits right about where that shield is, the Highway 31, and over here, that's Hayden in Blount County. So the initial concern for Blount will be when it comes out of Sipsey, coming over into Blunt Springs, and then ultimately keeps on moving east over toward perhaps Hayden or Nectar or Cleveland. So a tornado warning in effect now for the far eastern part of Walker, not including Jasper. It's on past Jasper, then over into the western part of Blount County, reporting Highway 69 between Market Street and Norwood Circle being shut down because of numerous power poles down, lines down, oak trees down, and some structural damage to homes. So that seems to be the most significant report of damage we have seen so far coming from Coleman. And again, that is the storm that you see here that is...
that was an hour ago, right there.
That's when it came through.
Yeah, that's when it came through Coleman.
Okay. That's the one that's up there over southern Coleman and western Blount right now. So those are the kind of storms we've dealt with here. And we probably have other trees and power lines down. It's just hard to get a lot of reports at this late hour. We have reports, public reports of damage in the community.